Everyone, including you and me and the richest man on earth, Mr. Elon Musk, we are all caught up in the bubble of our minds. We are all living with our rotten fish. We are all just so mesmerized by our rotten fish that we forget to really see the beautiful opportunity that exists, that is made available to us.
Hey, it's Rocky. Welcome to Richer Soul. Today's guest is Ravi Kathuria, who shares how to just be happy. Quick announcement before we get started. We are now offering for business owners tax planning, strategy, and tax preparation. If that's something you're interested in, reach out and we're happy to work with you to deliver excellent service where your phone calls actually get answered and responded to quickly, and you understand the best tax planning for your particular business and life. Let's get started. You did everything you were told to do. You worked hard, you built a career, you made money, and yet something still feels missing. That's why we started this podcast. If you've ever looked at your success and quietly asked, is this it? This is the conversation. My guest is Ravi Kathuria, founder and president of Houston Strategy Forum and the management consulting firm Cohegic Corporation. He spent decades coaching executives and leaders, and he's the author of 2 acclaimed parabolas, including Happy Soul, Hungry Mind. It's a modern, non-religious exploration of spirituality that makes inner peace practical, simple, and accessible without judgment or preconditions. We're going to chat about why success alone never delivers happiness, how our minds quietly trap us in what he calls our rotten fish, and why real fulfillment comes not by doing more, but by learning how to quiet the mind. So it might look successful on the outside, but still feels restless on the inside. This conversation will help. Let's dive in. Welcome to Richer Soul, Ravi Kathuria. It's great to have you join us today.
Thank you, Mr. Rocky Lalwani. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. I'm so pleased to be here. And I applaud you for the work you do, for the focus you do. I mean, your work, obviously you do work in multiple dimensions, from business coaching, business mentoring, but this aspect of your work, which is the richer soul, I love that. I really love that. I love the fact that you talk about how, so many of us have gotten there. We have the money, right? We work so hard to get the money, and now the money is there, and you go, now what? Right? Where is the happiness that was promised? Excuse me, customer service, can you tell me? Society, parents, friends, everybody said, make money, don't think about anything else. Work like a dog, make money. I made the money, and where is the happiness? Where is happiness? Can somebody answer that? Who do I call? Do I call the State Department? Do I call Federal Reserve? Who do I call? Do I call my bank? I say, look at my bank balance. Where is my happiness balance? I love that focus. Congratulations to you, Rocky, for picking that up. What a pulse you have picked up, sir.
And I think for a lot of people, that is what happens. They're told to go chase the money. And at the end of the day, at one point, they wake up and they ask that. But we're going to take a step back.
Okay.
We always like to start at the beginning. What was it like when you were growing up, and how much did your family and school teach you about money?
Ooh, if your listeners cannot already tell, I'm an Indian by background. I was born in India. I lived the first 25 years of my life in India, and then the remaining of my life here in Texas, in Houston. And so growing up in India, as Indians, we have a very specific relationship with money. First of all, we respect money, right? So money is something that we respect. Obviously, we pray to goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth. So we have this relationship of respect with money, but we are very judicious in how we spend money. So I grew up in a middle class family. My father worked for the government of India, so we had money to live by, but we didn't have money to splurge, right? So we never slept. We have money to eat and vacation, but not money to go buy a fancy car, right? We did buy a car. Oh, it was this Maruti thing, but not a luxury car. It's a car that every middle class family. So money, it's a relationship, and it's this realization about money is that I saw my father make decisions about money, and I never saw him make a decision about money that what I call, he didn't call it, but what I call creates nuisance value. So he never made a decision in life to acquire money that would bring a sort of tension or pressure or a potential for unhappiness in the family or in his life. And that has stayed with me, right? I want to earn money, but I want to earn money that has positive energy in it. I want to earn money that uplifts my life. I don't want to earn money that creates a nuisance in my life. There is no point in having a bank balance, at least for me, that creates more worries. I have coached CEOs and some very rich people, and I find their biggest worry, is, guess what? Money. They have all the money in the world, and yet they're worried about money. And I find that perplexing because you're missing the point at that point, right? You have all this money, and you're still focused entirely on either preserving it or earning more of it. And to me, money that robs you of your peace is money that you have to be careful of.
Why do you think that is? Why are they still so stuck on money?
Beautiful question. I was thinking about. I was reading about you, a little bit, and then you talk about money and how we sometimes get caught up. But let's talk about, and I hope he doesn't come after me. Let's talk about the richest man on earth, right? The richest man on earth right now is Mr. Elon Musk. He is worth, I don't know, pick the day, but close to $500 billion. $1 billion is a lot of money. This man is worth 4 to 500 billion or 300 billion, depending on where the stock is.
Do you know what else?
Yes, I know
He's
what.
frugal like an Indian.
He's frugal like an Indian.
He is. He is frugal.
Oh,
He
and
will challenge everybody in
yes,
his business. Why are we wasting money on all this stuff?
yes, yes. I I own one of his cars, and I can tell he did not put the kind of features that I would expect in the car. So yes, frugal it is. But actually, it's my wife's car. She loves it, so I don't get a say to it. She she also doesn't let me drive it. So there it is. Elon Musk has a customer who is happy. What does it matter if the customer's spouse is not happy? Yeah, I think he could have added some more features. Didn't have to go really stingy on the car. But Elon Musk is worth 300, 400, 500 billion dollars. I mean, that is an it really is an unimaginable amount of money for somebody. And I hope your listeners won't be disappointed to learn that I'm not a billionaire. Hopefully they're okay with that. But so $1 billion is a lot of money. Elon Musk has 400, 500. And if you follow the news recently in the last few months, the board of Tesla gave him options which can make Elon Musk the first trillionaire on earth. He would be worth more than $1,000 billion. Friends, that is a crazy amount of money. Now, the of course we have bigger institutions. We have the United States government, which is trillions. The stock market is worth, I don't know, 60 trillion. globally the stock market is worth 120 trillion. So trillion is not a big number when we involve countries and societies, but for a human being, $1 trillion, that is a lot of money. Now, what is it that, Mr. Musk, of course, lobbied and fought hard to get that motion passed by the board and the investors, so that he could, if he meets certain goals for the company, to be awarded $1 trillion, right? So that he would be worth $1 trillion. Now, you would say that, from a money point of view, he has more money than what he could do. He could not eat, there is generations of his are going to be able to live on that money if they don't spend it unwisely, right? So it's not the question of money anymore. You give him, he's worth 400, you give him another $400 billion, it's not going to do anything. He could go out and buy anything he wants in the world today. And it's not also, his ability to create another company because of his reputation and his intellectual capability and his entrepreneurial capabilities. He could raise money very easily. He doesn't need to have himself $1 trillion. So what is it that the richest man on earth wants to be worth even more? What is it, friends? Well, money. And I haven't talked to Elon Musk. I'd love to. You can give me a call anytime. Elon, I'm available. You can give me a call anytime. I clear my schedule for you, Elon. Uh, call me, Elon, call me. We have a conversation. I know you've been asking about some philosophical questions. I can answer those for you, Elon. You don't have to hunt around. And Gemini and ChatGPT cannot answer those questions like I can. So, Elon, call me. It's going to be a short conversation. I can fill you in. I know you're a busy man. But this is the deal. What is it that Elon seeks? Money. Being the first
Does he?
trillionaire, yeah, money would give him validation for the value that
Well,
he
and so
creates for Tesla. It's
he started off with next to nothing.
he started off with next to nothing, but it's the compensation for continuing to create value, right? He is going to create value for the company or for the investors, and he wants to get paid. He wants to be acknowledged, just like any one of us, right? In life, we treat money as a way of validating our contributions, right? And there is nothing wrong with that. Your listeners are listening. You say, well, what is wrong with that? I do work and I want to get paid. Every one of us wants to get paid. Most of us who don't have $400 billion want to get paid so we can go enjoy life. But those of us who have more than enough money, that we're already enjoying the life we have, we still want more money because it continues to validate to ourselves our worth and contribution in society. Okay? So that is valid. When does it become an issue? When does it become an issue? Does it become an issue? Right? That's the
I
question.
think if you're tying your self-worth to your net worth, then it's an issue, isn't it?
Friends, listen to Mr. Rocky, what he's saying. Listen to what he's underscoring.
But that's an American thing.
Yeah.
It is in some other countries too. I don't know, depending on the country, every country has its own social way of looking at some of these things.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's many positions in the world where people are, and it used to be even, are more valued not for their money, but for their contribution.
We are society is changing. There was this movie called Crazy Rich Asians. It's about a billionaire family in, I forget, was it in Hong Kong? I watched the movie a long time ago, right? But money certainly brings status, and money brings status in almost every society there is. But friends, that is exactly the question that Mr. Rocky keeps asking, and the purpose behind his work is, when you have more than enough money to live a comfortable life for you and your family, right? And you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life. Then does the chase end? Then do you feel
There's
satisfied and content? Rocky has a point there. Please, Rocky.
there's very few people who can answer this question.
Yes.
How much is enough?
How much is enough? And if he took Elon Musk's example, he could have gone to the board and say, I don't need another 400 billion for you to validate me. In fact, well, never mind Elon Musk. I have not met him, so I should stop reading his mind. Let's just talk about ourselves. Why talk about Elon, right? We'll let him be happy. In his 400 billion or in his 800 billion, whatever it takes, Elon, whatever it takes to make you happy. But the rest of us, right? Rocky's question to us is yes. When is it enough? How do you know? What I have found, so in my book, I write about, and this is a book called Happy Soul, Hungry Mind. I had a client many years ago, and at least by my standards, rich man, he makes over $1 million a month, which is pretty rich. $1 million a month is pretty rich. He has a series of stores, and he started with nothing. Him and his wife started with nothing. $1 million after working for 25 years, and that's significant amount of money. But the man is still living in his own prison. He tell me, Ravi, in order to save $50, I will sometimes drive across town and spend 3.5 hours back round trip because I want to save $50 and not send this through a courier. And to me, that was startling. This is a man who earns $1 million per year, per month, right? He would, you talk about Elon Musk being frugal. This man was a frugal. He would really, because if you have retail stores, you have a lot of employees who you're paying, and he would pay them at minimum wage. He would not, right? And he drove a very nice car. And he would refuse to pay his employees more because he was just driven by that. Everything has to be driven to the lowest cost.
That's not frugal. That's cheap.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
different.
fair enough. Fair enough. Good point.
And if you think about it, he has not valued his most precious resource, which is his time. Because if he valued his time, he would have paid one of his employees to go drive it across town, or he would have paid the courier the $50. I don't do anything. I pay people for all those things. I don't want to do it.
He is caught. And this is not a story I'm making up, right? This is a real story. This is who I'm coaching. And I'm surprised and maybe even shocked to hear that, because the guy is not hurting for money, but he is trapped in his prison. And I talk about this in the book. I say, we are all trapped by the prison of our minds. We are living in the bubble of our minds. And he's wired that way. He's wired to be a penny pincher, to the point where one of his senior executives was leaving and he didn't want to spend 350K to hire a senior executive. And so he put more pressure on himself and his wife to pick up the slack. He would not do it. Now, these people take vacations, so he's not cheap when it comes to personal spending. They live in a beautiful house, they take vacations, they do that. But the problem is their quality of life. When they go home, the husband and wife, they're constantly sniping at each other because she's not happy that he's so, to use Rocky's word, cheap. I didn't call him cheap. He was my client. I didn't want him to remember that. Hey, he goes, Ravi, thank you for calling me cheap. By the way, your invoice. I suddenly realized.
Not cheap.
Yeah, your invoice is not cheap. Thank you, Rocky. Yeah, I said, no.
You had a story in the book about that, about
yes.
the guest who went to the king's palace and they weren't happy because of the smell of the fish.
Oh, wow. What a story.
Do you want to share that?
Yes, Rocky, what a story that is. So this is an old ancient Indian story. The king of a land is, likes to engage with his subjects. So one day he's going through the marketplace, the bazaar, and he sees an old woman selling fish. Her basket of fish. She has just, she's old. She just has a small basket, maybe 20, 25 pieces of fish in there, and she's sitting on the floor. And he likes to do good deeds. So what he does is he decides for that day his good deed is going to be invite that woman to the palace and come and live the luxury of a king, right? And he wants to do that. So the woman is, of course, accepts. She is delighted. She goes to the palace, and she's taken to a room. It has a room full of fine linens, beautiful bed. It has you know water pots with roses in them, and lotuses, and I mean, she's fed the best food on earth that she could ever imagine. And then she's retired to the bed, and there is a maid which is assigned to fan over her all night so that she doesn't feel hot. Remember, this is an old woman, very poor. And so next day the king invites her to the court, and he's ready, right? I mean, he's very happy with himself that he did a good deed, and he's expecting her to come in and say, "Oh king, you're the most generous, you are the greatest king on earth, you are nothing but God for giving me this such experience." And all his courtiers are there, and she comes in, frail, and he asks her, he says, how was your stay at the palace? How did you sleep? And she said, "Oh majesty, it was the most horrible night of my life. I could not sleep a wink." And the king is shocked. He says, "What? You could not sleep a wink? Did they not take care of you? Bring the caretaker. I will have the caretaker executed immediately." She goes, "No, no, no. The caretaker, no, no, please, 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 your majesty, don't execute the caretaker. They were fine. I couldn't sleep because I was missing my basket of fish. I cannot sleep without the smell of fish." And the king is upset, right? He's almost embarrassed in front of all his courtiers. All his courtiers are snickering, and he goes sarcastically, he says, "You like the smell of rotten fish? And that is why you could not enjoy my palace?" The woman is now scared. She thinks, forget the caretaker, she might be executed. For, of course, the king decides to let her go, but it is a shock to him. And of course, he dismisses the court, and then spends the day reflecting on this. And he says, what is it that prevented the woman from enjoying the palace? And he realizes she is caught up in her basket of fish. That's what her life is. That is what she sleeps with. That is how she makes money. That is what she catches. That is her entire life. He has given her this beautiful palace. He could have offered it for her life to her. He has got enough rooms, but she cannot accept that, because she's so caught up. This executive who's making $1 million is making $1 million, but he's caught up in his rotten fish. And then the thought hits the king. He says, she was caught up in her rotten fish. Guess what? The palace and my kingdom is my rotten fish. I am so caught up in that. What am I missing? Ooh, friends, oh my God. That every time I think about it, that sends a shiver down your spine. You say, here is the king realizing he is caught up in his own bubble, just like the woman is. He's no better. Where should he go now? And friends, everyone, including you and me and the richest man on earth, Mr. Elon Musk, we are all caught up in the bubble of our minds. We are all living with our rotten fish. For Elon Musk, that's Tesla. For you and me, it's something else, but we are all just so mesmerized by a rotten fish that we forget to really see the beautiful opportunity that exists, that is made available to us. How? What a how I'd love to have a discussion. I hope if you're listening to this, please send messages to Rocky. Let's have a discussion on this. Talk about what is your rotten fish, friends. Talk about how you're caught up. And talk about if you're caught up, if money is your rotten fish. Talk to Rocky about it. He's here to guide you. Please take his guidance.
So at the end of that chapter, you made a point. Your mind is an instrument for you to engage in the material world. It's not a tool to access the spiritual world.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Yes. Friends, if you're driving, stop the car, park now. If you're at home, you know, going at listening to the podcast, but also swiping something else, please discard any other application. Just focus, friends. Focus. Okay, just focus. What a beautiful thing Rocky has underscored. The mind that we have used from the minute we were born to engage with the world, right? We need the mind to understand what is in the world. How do we build a family? How do we earn? How do we have self importance, ego? Everything comes from the mind. The mind gives us our very identity. I say I'm Ravi Kathuria, right? I'm so great. I written 2 books, blah, 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 right? I'm here to change the world. Who's telling me that? It's my mind. My mind has made that up. It is creating its own bubble, right? I am living in my own bubble. The mind has projected that. It projects. It tells me as soon as I wake up, it says, "Oh, Ravi, you're this great author. You're somebody who that the world should listen to. You have great wisdom." And my ego goes, "Yeah, of course, absolutely, right, absolutely. I'm so great. I'm so great." And I listen to what other people say. They say, "Oh, brilliant, Ravi Kathuria," and I go, "Yeah, absolutely, yes." It's feeding, right? My mind is constantly feeding on itself and building this identity. And but I need the mind because without the mind, I cannot do anything in this world. I cannot love. I cannot hate. I cannot experience joy. I cannot experience pain. I cannot experience desire. I cannot experience satisfaction. I cannot experience fulfillment. I need the mind for every aspect of anything that I do in this world, in the material world. Okay? Without the mind, I have no existence. The mind makes me experience the world. So, and having said that, I underscore how important the mind is. But Rocky said it, and I have said it thrice already. The mind is there for you to experience the material world. This very mind, which is so potent and so powerful and so useful in the material world, when it comes to the spiritual world, this mind is useless. In fact, I talk about this in the book, this book, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind. This mind is actually the bouncer. If you've ever been to a club, there are these, muscular bouncers standing outside, right? These big men who prevent people from going in. The mind acts like a bouncer that prevents you from accessing your own spirituality within you. This mind that helps you live in the material world and have a good life there, this mind is the very thing that prevents you from truly experiencing your infinite self. All right? And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I want to make sure I give Rocky a chance to jump in if he has a question or thought, because I have a problem when I start talking in my mind bubble. I don't stop. So Rocky, I can now elaborate further, but let's.
So the key is to quiet the mind, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of what meditation does. That's what a lot of these practices do. When you quiet the mind, that's when you can experience all the rest of it. But
Yes.
if you're constantly clicking and scrolling and being interrupted, it becomes impossible to do that. This episode of Richer Soul is sponsored by the Profit Answer Man podcast. If you're a business owner who wants to scale and grow, increase profits, or want to have strategic conversations around your financials, then check out the podcast. You'll learn how to work less, increase cash flow, increase profits, and build reserves to help you weather storms. It's built on the profit first methodology of pay yourself first. The Profit Answer Man podcast is a must listen to for every small business owner and anyone who wants to help them survive and thrive. Check it out on your favorite listening platform.
Yes. So why quiet the mind? What happens? Right? We talked about this mind which is working nonstop, always restless. What is it about quieting the mind? Why do we talk about quieting the mind? Friends, I want to share this about you. This is about your physiology. This is about your DNA. When you quiet the mind, when your mind begins to be completely still, you will begin to automatically experience your own life force. And what is this life force? What do I mean by life force? There is an energy in you. You may call it soul, spirit, atma in Sanskrit, ruh in Arabic, whatever language you may use. When your mind becomes completely quiet, you begin to experience your soul. It's an automatic, natural phenomenon. All you have to do is learn to quiet the mind. When the mind is not running around in the material world, chasing things, worrying about things, doing all of these things, when it becomes completely still, you will start experiencing glimpses of the divine energy that is within you. And that is applicable to every person on earth. It doesn't matter whether you're religious, whether you believe in God or not. It doesn't matter whether you are rich as Elon Musk or poor as you can be. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or transgender. It doesn't matter whether you're gay or straight or bisexual. Nothing matters, my friends. Every human being on earth has the ability to experience their own soul if their mind becomes quiet. And you don't have to make the mind quiet 24 hours, because your mind is completely quiet 24 hours. Then you're in a vegetative state. Your family members will start chasing me down. Please, no, that's not the idea. The idea is to be able to quiet the mind for half an hour, or whatever time you get during the day, and just be still. And when you become still, you begin to experience this phenomenon in you, which is truly, truly special. It is spirituality within is the biggest gift, is the ultimate gift that life has given you, friends. You're very lucky to be able to listen to this podcast today, because you are hearing a message about you. And this is not something you don't need somebody's blessings. You don't have to go on a pilgrimage. You do not need a guru, a priest, somebody, a pastor to come and say, oh, I ordain you. No, you don't need any of that. The minute you were born, this is in your DNA, this capability. It's like I tell people, everybody on earth, every human being on earth has the ability to swim. Doesn't mean everybody knows how to swim, but they have the ability. You have the ability to quiet the mind, and you will start experiencing the soul. And that is an automatic process. It's as I use this example, there is the sun shining in the sky. When the sun always shines, but if the sky is clouded, you don't see the sun. As soon as the clouds dissipate, the sun shines through. You don't have to do a dance, you don't have to write a memo, you don't have to bribe the sun, it will shine through. It's the same. When your mind becomes quiet, your soul will shine through. Friends, that is it. That is so simple. And it is within your reach. You absolutely must do this. Absolutely. This is the most important thing of your life. What you have just heard here is the most important thing in your life, more important than when your doctor or midwife or whoever told your parents or loved ones, this person is born. More important than enough, even that. More important than when you're wherever you got married. If you got married, somebody said your husband and wife or husband and husband, whatever it was, right? Or when somebody says, oh, here's your first home or your first car. This is more important, friends. You have the ability to experience your soul, and that is the ultimate purpose of your life.
It sounds so simple. I always say doing simple is hard.
Yeah.
Quieting the mind takes some work.
Quieting the mind is the toughest challenge. It is very simple. Losing weight is really simple. You cut the calories and you exercise. You don't need, there is a million books on diets, all kinds of diets, but it really is simple. Cut the calories and exercise, you will lose weight. Okay? It is really simple. Quiet the mind, your soul will shine. Now, quieting the mind is a challenge, I'll give you that. But there are so many simple practices that you can start doing that will begin to reorient your life. Use the phone. You're probably listening to this podcast on your phone, so stop. Don't stop. Okay, or maybe at least finish this podcast, then you can put your phone down, right? There is nothing wrong in using the phone. What is wrong is using the phone 24 hours. You wake up at 3 in the morning, what you do is reach for your phone. You wake up in the morning, even before you get out of bed, you reach for your phone, right? You're bombarding your mind with constant stimulus. Just wake up one morning and just lie in bed. Just lie in bed. Learn to let your mind slow down. Take a walk in nature, just slow down. In my book, I have specific exercises. I talk about doing what I call the mind purge in the evening, recliner exercises. I talk about an exercise for nothing time, and we can get into those, but I'm watching the time also, how much we have. And then, of course, Rocky talked about meditation, right? And a lot of people get scared about meditation. I want to tell you, friends, meditation is the simplest thing on earth. There is nothing simpler than meditation, because many times there are wrong definitions of meditation that are floating around. Meditation is not concentration. Meditation is not listening to music. Meditation is not focusing on a candle burning. Meditation is not reciting a mantra. Meditation is just being comfortable and closing your eyes. Meditation is also not concentrating and focusing on thoughts. Meditation is not something you do. Meditation is something that happens to you. All you have to do, after I've just said you don't have to do anything, there is something basic you have to do. You have to sit down and be comfortable in a place where it is, fairly quiet, and just close your eyes. And that's it. There is a video I did on simple, powerful meditation on YouTube. It is there. Of course, it's in my book as well. But meditation is the simplest thing, friends. Don't put expectations on yourself. Don't make it hard. Just start doing it. And then slowly but surely see your life change. You've got everything. You have the biggest blessing. Rocky and I talked about how I coach all these CEOs, and I'm very successful people, very rich people. And say, look, oh my God, you have so many blessings. You are so blessed. If the Lord showed up and you asked for something, the Lord would go, you ungrateful. You have everything. How much more do you want? Right? So you're so blessed, and yet you're unhappy in life. Friends, we are so blessed. We don't have to go out and grow our food. God bless the farmers. We don't have to. I have everything. I have warm water. I have AC. I have food. I have a department. I go to a grocery store. All kinds of foods are there. All kinds of everything is available to me. I have all the comforts in life, right? And yet we are unhappy. Friends, learn to start becoming peaceful. Begin to connect with the spirituality within you, which is your destiny. It is your birthright. It doesn't matter who you are. You may be a saint, you may be a sinner. It doesn't matter. Every one of us, without judgment or precondition, have access to spirituality within.
I think this is a word that gets confused, especially in America. We have spirituality, we have God, and then we have religion.
Yes.
And everyone argues over it versus experiencing it. And even within religions, they're arguing over whose part of it is right and wrong. And
Yeah.
yet you simplify the whole thing of go find the truth. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. How beautiful is this, Rocky? How beautiful is this? I said, don't look for God, look for the truth. Don't look for God, look for the truth. And friends, spirituality is a term that if you do a Wikipedia search, if you do a Google search, if you do a Chat GPT search, if you read these books by spiritual authors, it will give you a headache. Or if it doesn't give you a headache, it will put you to sleep. If it doesn't put you to sleep and you persist, you're going to need a dictionary, or you're going to go on the internet and start researching the words they use. And oh my God, it gives me a headache, and I'm interested in the subject. And for a long time, I wondered why spirituality was so complex, until I realized spirituality was not complex. Spirituality is really simple. It's people who have made it complex. And so let's understand this, friends. Let's understand this. Religious people think religion is spirituality. They could not be more wrong. Spirituality is non-religious. Friends, hope you're not driving. Please stop driving now. Spirituality is non religious. Let me go even further. Spirituality can only be non religious. Spirituality is not godality. Spirituality is not associated with God. It doesn't matter what you think about God, it doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not. Spirituality is about you and your life force. And you will experience your life force, friends. Every one of you, every one of us will experience our life force if our mind becomes quiet. And you know where the belief in God lies? Whether you believe in God or not, whether you follow a religion or not, is part of your mind. Your mind says, I believe in God. Your mind says, I don't believe in God. Your mind says, I am a Christian, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Jew, I'm a Muslim. Your mind says everything. Mind says, I'm a good Christian, I'm a bad Christian. The mind says whatever. Guess what? Spirituality does not care about your mind. As soon as your mind becomes quiet, and when it becomes quiet, all its beliefs, all its thinking becomes quiet. That's when you enter the realm of spirituality. That is why spirituality is stunningly simple. That is why spirituality has nothing to do with religion. Friends, this is big. Every person on earth needs to understand that, so we can drive a spiritual awakening on earth. We have been so misled because religion had us confused about spirituality. Spirituality is who you are. Religion is a choice. Spirituality is not a choice. It is in your DNA. You could choose to be religious, you could choose not to be religious. Spirituality is in your DNA. If you're a human being, you have spiritual ability. You have the ability to experience your soul. It's that simple, my friend. Don't confuse it with religion. Don't confuse it with God. If you want to talk about God, I will give you the definition of God, which will help you understand everything. But let's not even talk about God, because spirituality is, there is only I define the most simplest definition of spirituality on earth. You cannot find a simpler definition. Sorry, I just realized I'm getting loud. I'm getting excited. I need to calm down. But here, let me give you the simplest definition of spirituality. Friends, please think about this to change your life. Spirituality is the experience of your own soul. That is it. It doesn't involve anybody else. It's you and your soul. And you can experience it. Rocky talked about it. I talked about it. Quiet the mind. You will experience the soul. That is it, friends. You don't need anything else. You do not need scriptures. You do not need to listen to anything. You do not need religion. You don't need anything else. You are complete, my friend. Okay? That Jerry Maguire movie, he goes and says, you complete me. Well, I'm here to tell you nothing else completes you because you are already complete. It's you and your soul, and nobody can stop you from accessing your soul. You may be a serial killer, and the government is justified in executing you, and you may be on death row waiting to be executed a year from now. But guess what? In jail, you can access your own soul. You may be the saint of saints. Guess what? In your monastery, you can access your own soul. Elon Musk can access his own soul. You and me can access the soul. Any president, prime minister can access the soul. Any school teacher, any janitor, everyone on earth can access their soul. It's there with them 24/7. You can access your own soul in your own home. Spirituality within is the best gift, the ultimate gift for you, my friends. It is so fascinating. And it is there for the asking. It is all yours.
It's not that hard, but yet you have to put the time in and the effort and the practice and find the time to be quiet. I think one of the issues that comes up is how do you find this harmony in life? And what I mean by that is you coach CEOs. How do you put this together with, hey, I need to pay for the house, take care of my basic needs. I don't need the billions, but yet I have these things I enjoy doing. I'm making an impact. And I also want this part of life. How do we integrate them both and make it all possible? And what have you seen
Yeah.
in coaching all of these
No,
successful people?
absolutely. Friends, we are living life, right? We all have to earn money. We have to go to work, take care of families. And yet we find the time to take care of personal hygiene. You have time in the morning to wake up and brush your teeth and take a bath, don't you? Of course you do. It's part of your routine, isn't it? You cannot ever tell me, oh, I was so busy on a project for 6 months that I didn't have time to brush my teeth or take a bath. Excuse me. All right. I promise you, the project would have ended. All right. Even if there was nobody else on the project, yeah, I promise you, you find it is part of your routine. Okay. Accessing and becoming peaceful is not something that you carve out and you do when you're 75 years old and you have nothing better to do, or after you have reached $1 trillion in your bank balance, and then you say, okay, now it's time for spirituality. And this is the thing that I tell young people a lot, is that if you want to change the quality of your life, you need to start learning how to be peaceful. And learning how to be peaceful is during the day as you're doing all of the things. If I put you in the Bahamas on a beach and you're peaceful, and I go, this is really cool, but I cannot put you there for 365 days because then you'll become a bum. You'll be a beach bum, right? And you'll go crazy. You have to go work. So how do I make you peaceful when you're in the middle of Pittsburgh or in the middle of New York City or in the middle of Houston, Texas, or you have to be wherever else? and you say, I am rushing to get my work done, I'm rushing to get my projects done, I'm rushing, working hard to get my promotion, or I'm rushing to build my business needs. And in that, how do I become peaceful in during all of those actions, my friend? How do I change my perspective? How do I change my thinking? How do I change my relationship with money? How do I change my relationship with my business? So, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, as Rocky will share with you, that is, it's a book on spirituality, but it's really a conversation between a CEO who is an entrepreneur and his mentor, right? And they have this conversation. Well, who owns you? Do you own the business or the business owns you? I'm sure it's a conversation Rocky has had with many of his mentees, whether the business folks that he coaches, right? Who owns you? Do you own the business or does the business own you? Friends, it's a distinction. Does your rotten fish own you or do you own your rotten fish? It begins to tell you how to drive peace. If you are a slave to your career, to your business, to money, I promise you, what Rocky says is true. It is very difficult to become peaceful. You could be a pastor in a church, but if you're a slave, it'd be very difficult to become peaceful. How do you become peaceful? How do you become a master of your mind, not the slave of your mind? So in the book, there is a quote which says, the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If the mind is your master, it will thrash you around. When you become the master and the mind works according to what you want, it will be the best friend.
You have to make that choice and you have to take control
You have to take control.
because you're in charge of your mind.
Yes, you have to.
Your mind is not in charge of you. Just like you're not in charge, your business is yours, your mind is yours too.
Yeah,
You have to take control and make that decision.
yes,
Kind of like a puppy, you have to train it.
yes. Otherwise, you'll get an opportunity to be in the palace and you will still not be able to benefit. You will still not be able to benefit because you're so caught up. Friends, make sure you don't get caught up in your rotten fish.
Is there anything else we should leave them with regards to that of letting go of their fish?
Letting go of their fish. Yeah, friends, this is, it is hard because since the time you were born, you have lived in your ego, you have lived in your identity. And so to hear somebody on a podcast say, well, don't be so attached to your identity, don't take it so seriously, learn to distance yourself, comes as a very hard message. And yet it's something that can happen for you. You could wake up one morning and say, yeah, I've been working on this business, I've been working on this career for so long, it has taken a hold on me. But really, it does not need to take a hold on me. Especially for those of us who have already achieved a certain level in life. You say, yeah, I have all the money in life. I don't really I need to continue to have more money because it keeps me occupied. I like doing that. I like my work, right? I enjoy doing that. But what you do is you draw a line and you say, yes, I'm no longer a slave to it. And that mind shift, that transformation in your thinking begins to, and then you go, okay, if it doesn't have a hold on me, then it allows me to breathe a little. And for your mind, to which was constantly caught up for so many years and decades, for it to start becoming peaceful. And then I begin to find the practices and the activities that start teaching the mind to breathe. And as the mind becomes calmer, that's all you have to do. Everything else is a natural phenomenon for you. Everything else will fall into place, and you will become golden among human beings. And if we can do that for almost everyone on earth, it doesn't matter whether you are young and just starting a career or family, or you are already established, everyone needs to feel the peace within, because life is so precious. Every day is precious. When our mind is more peaceful, our quality, our experience of life is much better.
That it is. And so hopefully people will take some of your advice and take the time to make that happen for them. We shall see.
We
I
shall.
keep trying.
Yes, no, absolutely. Rocky is here. Reach out to him with questions, comments. I am here. If you need me, I'm happy to answer, right? But we are all in this journey together. Let's help each other. But most importantly, let's live the best life we can. There is no excuse. Don't be caught up. You got to selfish. Yeah, you got to selfish. We understand that. Don't be caught up in the smell of rotten fish. Every now and then, learn to enjoy the palace, my friends. Thank you, Rocky, for bringing up that story from the book.
You are most welcome. It's time to learn the secrets of life. What's one truth about success you wish more people understood?
Ah, success is an outcome of you doing exceptional work. And exceptional work comes when you create exceptional work, when you truly enjoy, and that work gives you peace. When it's connected with your deepest yearning, when you are doing that type of work, success is a natural byproduct. Success is not something to be chased. Success is something that needs to come kiss your feet.
Hmm, interesting. Too often people chase the success itself,
Yeah,
not what actually. Same
yeah.
thing with happiness.
Same thing with
Not
happiness.
much different.
And they will always feel shortchanged.
What did you learn later in life that you wish you had learned sooner?
Spend more time. I guess I knew this earlier in life too, but I wish I had spent more time meditating. That's it.
Hmm.
I still need to spend more time meditating. I still do.
Well, it's a practice. And again, sometimes more is not better. Depends.
Yes.
If you were to give an 18-year-old one specific piece of wisdom, what would it be?
Ooh, how beautiful! And in the book, I reference when I was 18, and either to myself or any 18 years old, whatever troubles you now, right now, is not going to matter much to you in 10 or 20 years. It will not. So to stop fussing about it so much. Just go on.
That's probably true for most people.
It is true for everyone. Even if people who lose a loved one at 18, 20, 30 years later, we all get, no matter how horrible a thing that we experience, with time, everything fades away.
That it does. If people would like to learn more about you and the book, how can they find you?
They can go to my website, spiritualitywithin.com. They can buy the book Happy Soul Hungry Mind on Amazon Kindle, or if they want to save $20, they can go to YouTube and listen to the audiobook for free on YouTube. I rather they spend their $20, but if they really want to save it, go to YouTube, listen to the audiobook. Friends, this is important. This really is important. I mean, change your life, love your life, and really discover what you have been oblivious, something that exists within you. I cannot sell it to you because you already have it. You don't even need to read my book. I've already told you what is in the book. You don't have to read it. I've already told you. Do read the book, please. But you have this. You have this capability. It is born in you. Nobody can sell it. No, you don't have to pay anybody money to teach you something that you already possess.
Most of the things in life are free. You don't have to waste money on them.
You don't have to. But yeah, connect with me on my handle is spirituality within on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, or you'll find my emails there on my website. Send me an email, call me. My telephone number is there, whatever, or send messages to Rocky. And if there is enough people, then maybe I'll beg Rocky to put me back on. We'll see. We'll see. He'll give me feedback after today's session and say, yeah, we'll see.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rocky. God bless you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for the work you do. God bless you. God bless your listeners. God bless everyone on earth. Let us experience who we truly are. Thank you.
Thank you too. Are you ready to find harmony in your life? It's not as hard as you imagine. It's your choice. Start to notice, not to analyze, not to fix, just to be with it. As Ravi shared, the mind is a powerful tool for navigating the world, but peace doesn't come from chasing more. It comes from learning how to quiet the noise and reconnect with what's already inside of you. You can check out his book and his work if you'd like to learn more. And if you know someone who this might resonate with, would you do me a favor and share it with them? Thanks for listening. Have an abundant week.